What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to keep working on this guy. As you guys remembered from last video, we're doing a bunch of paint repair on it. Repainting the grill shell, we're redoing the bumper trim piece, and we're doing the mirrors. Also, we have a tailgate handle to paint that I keep forgetting about, but regardless, we need to keep going on that stuff. I told you guys in the last video that next time you saw me, it would all be painted and done. Well, it's not. So I've been going through and wet sanding the pieces, getting them ready to paint, and I've got a lot of them done. But today's gonna be a fun one because we're actually gonna go through and do some repair. The first big thing I wanted to do was I want to grind these out, the license plate bracket holes. We're gonna grind those out and we're gonna fill them. Also, with this bucket for light, I don't know if you can see this, but the more I got to sanding, this bottom corner here had a bunch of paint that was chipped off and gone, and I thought it was just separating from the plastic. Well, it turns out there's a big crack that runs all the way around. So we're gonna V that crack out, and we're actually gonna repair it with epoxy, 2-part epoxy. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to take these tow hooks and just smooth them out a little bit and repaint them as well. Little things that people aren't going to notice, like this casting mark here, I want that gone. And as far as the finish, it's got a slight texture to it from the iron, and I want to smooth all that out, maybe even the casting line in here, but you won't see that. Anyway, I want to smooth that out. I want to get those painted as well. They're going to be black. I don't want too much white going on. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. What I'm going to do is, with these license plate holes and this front piece, I actually have a carbide bit. And I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through all 4 sides, and I'm going to grind them at an angle on each side. Then I'm going to go on the back side and do the opposite angle. I don't know if that's going to work, but my thinking is if you have a sharp point in the middle, we're going to end up filling the hole with epoxy, and the sharp point in the middle will keep the epoxy from going anywhere once it hardens. Again, I don't know if this is going to work. If it works or if it doesn't work, I want you guys to know. So that's why we're doing it on this stuff, and if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. So we got our holes V'd out, and again, if you guys saw how I did this, let's see here. So the way I did it is I wanted corners, I wanted peaks, right, all around my hole. Now what that's going to do in my mind is when I put the epoxy in, I'm going to have some tape or something on the back side of it to keep it from just dripping out the bottom. Now when I fill it, it should come in and go around. That would fill both sides of the hole and it'd come up flat. The reason behind this, in my mind, by doing this all the way around, is even for some reason if the epoxy shrank or whatever happened, it still has nowhere to go. It has the peaks holding it in. That's my theory behind how I did this. Now, I'm not going to say there's a body guy out there or somebody who does this kind of stuff just cringing at probably a train wreck I'm riding it right into. But that's why I do this. I do this to learn. I would rather screw up time and time and time and time again and learn it and learn the right way to do it than to give up or not try at all. So that's why we're doing this. So what I got was some electrical tape. I'm going to try to go to the back side here, and this is a factory piece. I was kind of hoping this would be smooth. I don't know what the deal is with all these little X marks, but we're going to see if we can get the electrical tape to grab onto that. So only time will tell if this is going to work, but I did actually get it to stick. Hopefully the chemicals in the epoxy don't have anything to do with separating the tape, because now all we have to do is come in here, make sure our holes are horizontal or flat, which that'll work. So the holes are flat, panel's flat, we have our backing in there. All we have left to do now, and this again might not be the right stuff, but I'm using JB Weld plastic bonder to 2-part epoxy. I have to mix it. There's a little mixing tray. Mix it up, put it in the holes, and just let it sit and just leave it alone. Let it dry, let it do its thing. These things, I never really take these too serious. Maybe this one will be different. It says set times 15 minutes and sand it in 30, but I don't know. I never trust their times. I might let it sit a little longer, but I'm gonna get this mixed up, put it in the holes, see what happens. So that's that part, guys. We're just gonna let this sit. You might think this is hokey as hell. I don't care. I'm gonna give it hell. I'm gonna try it. I really actually want it to work because those holes were bugging the shit out of me. So we'll check back in this. It said 30 minutes, so I guess we'll check back on this in 30 minutes and see what it does. And while we're waiting for that to dry, next I'm gonna do, I think I showed you guys this or tried to. There's that crack right there, you see it? We're gonna V that out with our carbide, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're actually gonna put some tape. Well, I'll show you when we get to it, but we're gonna V that out with our carbide. We're gonna fill it up too. So that's, hopefully it's focused on that, but that is the V. We went past the crack a little bit, which you want to do. You want to go past, you don't stop right at the end of the crack. So go past the crack, came all the way through, did a little bit on the face of it. I might have to go in after that and do the inside, but we're gonna try to do the same thing on this one. We're gonna put some epoxy on it, let it sit, and then we're gonna come back to it, sand it down. So there's that. Again, put more on than we needed. That way we have enough to sand off. This, this looks a little overkill right now, and it might be, but again, I want as much as possible to blend into this other bevel. And again, we'll just let it sit along with that guy, and then let it do its thing. Mixed a little much, but that'll be okay too. So we got everything all switched around. We got the carbide off. Actually, I changed my mind, and I put this sanding disc on. If you guys are curious about this thing, actually, this is a pretty cool tool. This is actually marketed as a die grinder. I got it from my Mac guy a few years ago, actually, and I've used the hell out of it, and it works really, really good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy, start on top, get that kind of smoothed out, turn around, go to the bottom, do the same thing. Then I'll work this edge over. This one here didn't have that big exaggerated casting line. It does on the inside. It's not really that bad. So I think we'll let the inside one slide, because you really don't see much. When this is in the bumper, you probably only see about that much of it. So I'm not going to go too crazy on the inside, but I do want to make sure that the top and the bottom are smooth, and this front face. Alrighty, you guys, we're coming back into this day 2. This is the day after, because whoever was at JB and put, let's see here, setup time 15 minutes, sand in 30, they were high as a kite, because this stuff would not set up. And you guys will probably make note of it. Earlier in the video when I started mixing this, I mixed this stuff first. And when I put it in the little mixing tray, more of the black stuff came out before the gray stuff, which I imagine the gray is a hardener, activator, whatever. So this isn't like, I mean, it is hard. It's hard. This one here is beautiful. What we did on the mirror, that is really hard. So that's perfect. And I think we'll live with this. But coming at this, like I said, second day, I'm going to go through, we're going to sand it down, see how it worked out, make sure it's good. We're going to sand that down. And I did not get the little sand barrel thing for this today, because I want to run that over here, make sure everything's smooth and right. So we'll get that next time. But for today, we want to get this. I want to make sure that these sand down nice and flat, smooth, and this works like it should so far. Alright, so there we have that sanded down. I am still not 100% sold. I don't know if that's doing anything for you, but I'm not 100% sold on the stuff yet. It's not as hard as I would have hoped, but I think it'll work. I think the next step's going to be putting my primer on the whole piece, and then wet sanding to see if this is noticeable. And if it's not noticeable, then we'll run it and see how long it lasts. I'm not 100% sold. I think this is one thing that we're just gonna have to watch develop together. This piece, this mirror piece on the other hand, I just need to get back in here and sand, and get it back down to where I like it. I think this part's gonna be just fine. It's still not, it's so weird how this stuff works. Like the shell feels great. The inside feels good, but you can tell it's got a little bit of give. And I think that's just a characteristic of JB Weld stuff in general. So I had two options. This is a plastic bonder, body panel adhesive and gap filler. Strength 3770, dries black. I wonder if I should have, because I got this as well. This is plastic weld. The strength on that one's 3900. Set time 5 minutes, cure time 1 hour. We all know that's just full of shit. Dries translucent yellow. Whatever. I wonder if this would have dried harder than this. So, I don't know. I mean, plastic bonder, structural adhesive, I don't know. I guess we'll see. This is more of an epoxy. This probably would have been what I wanted to use. But anyway, we got it on. We got it sanded down. We're going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, like I said earlier in this video, we're just going to try until we don't fail. So I'm going to leave you guys there with this one. We got this done this far. I think the next time, I don't know. I say next time, but I might have it in primer. I might not. We'll see what happens. I want to get this stuff done. I want to get the truck put back together. So we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys have any input, any theories, any ideas, love to hear 'em. So I think I'm going to go back inside. You guys have a good day, night, whatever it may be, week even. And we'll see you on the next one.